All right, thank you so much all for joining me in this specific lecture, and this is going to be the next part regarding communication, what we are already going. So this particular topic is the next in the series of communication topics. And this is specifically going to be regarding verbal and non-verbal communication. Now you people would be thinking that what can be extra in verbal and non-verbal communication, as we have already gone through from the topic of different types of communication. But some authors suggest some other kinds of types of communication as well, like kinesthetic or body language or non-verbal part or surrounding. So these kind of things are also be considered to be nowadays the most important part of a communication system. So in this particular lecture, we shall be talking about what are the different other methods of communication, and we shall be doing these in details, and these are also considered to be the part of verbal and non-verbal communication. So as usual, the lecture is very important for today, and before starting this lecture, I must tell you regarding paper second, we have already informed you that from now onwards the topics are very large and you have to be very regular with all the things we are providing to you, and these are like today only there shall be 4 lectures for paper second, and now you can assume that it's not possible for you to join continuously for 2.5 hours or 3 hours regularly, and for us it's not possible. So this is the reason some videos have been taken live, and immediately after this lecture we shall be delivering you what is there for paper second. And in the same way there shall be 7 lectures for paper second for tomorrow, okay, and that shall be delivered as usual. Okay, so from nowadays you have to be very regular with everything, because we can expect our exam to be qualified only if we go through from each and every topic. Whatever is written in the notes or whatever the description is provided to you, we try to do our best so that we explain each and everything to you. So in this way, maybe only 2 hours in a day are not sufficient for completing all the things provided to you. So this is the reason why we have decided to start a separate system, so that weekend is also not free for you. This is just the start of August. Okay, this is just the start of August. We still have 4 or 5 months left with us, and if we go through from each and every topic, then that will be very beneficial for us. So this is why we have taken this decision. Today there shall be 4 lectures for paper second. You do not need to be worried about. We have already prepared everything for you that shall be delivered to you before 8 p.m. today. And in the same way, yesterday will be done, and day after yesterday there shall be 1 live lecture. And again, if the topics are very large, then the recorded lecture shall be there. And as far as paper 1 is concerned, there shall be live lecture only. None kind of recording shall be there, because after the completion of a communication subject, we have to move toward mathematics, reasoning, and data interpretation. These are most important. I genuinely believe that recorded lecture should not be sufficient. We shall be taking the live lectures only for these parts. For this reason, I have already informed you by now. I'm just going to share the screen and tell you what we have prepared for you in this specific lecture. And before moving further, I have to take your quick confirmation as usual. Is my voice completely audible to you? Should I start my lecture? Is everything fine from my side? Can you hear me? Can you see me completely? I just need your confirmation. At least 5 or 6 confirmations are needed, so that I can start this lecture. And just believe me, this is going to be very beautiful lecture, because the topic is very interesting. Although some of you would be thinking that what could be extra in the verbal and non-verbal communication, but there are a number of things I'll be telling you. Even the space you are having with someone to whom you wish to talk, even the space matter in kind of a communication. communication. In the process of communication, the distance between the sender and the receiver also make a great kind of impact or effect. So now just going to share the screen so that everything is visible to you, and I think this lecture shall be over within 45 minutes, and if this is not the case, then maybe we will be taking the next lecture for paper second as well. Oh, sorry, paper one as well, because paper second, all the 4 lectures we have already recorded for you. So now just going to share, this is all for you in today's lecture. So today we'll be reading in this mode, okay? All right. So now I hope everything will be visible to you right now. So these topics are going to be regarding verbal and non-verbal communication. I'll be telling you what are differences between these. In case of communication, you all know. Okay, I don't think that now there is need to again go to the definition of a communication. Communication simply means when you try to give something, or when you try to talk to someone so that you get something in a response. So this is called communication, and communication involves 2 parties, and it involves a predetermined process or steps of a process. Okay, so these things we have already understood. Communication you all know. Now what is verbal and non-verbal? In case, in any way, if we use words, actual words, these are actual words, and doesn't matter whether these are oral or whether these are written. Okay, although some author take the written in non-verbal in that communication, but we have to consider that if actual words are taken for making the communication, whether these are in oral format or written format, this kind of communication should be considered to be verbal communication only. Okay, and in case of non-verbal communication, where you don't directly use the words, but you use some other languages, like you use your body language, or you can use there is a kind of a space language which I shall be teaching you right now in this lecture. Okay, so these are the things, like your eyes also speak, your hands also speak sometime. Okay, so these are also the way by which you can communicate with the second party. Okay, so now I hope you would have got the clear idea of what I am going to teach you right now in this specific lecture. So there are 2 things involved. The first is verbal and non-verbal. The only difference is when you make the use of actual words so that you can convey your message completely, that kind of communication shall be known to be verbal communication. And in case when you don't actually use, okay, when you don't actually use any kind of word, but you communicate in other way, okay, or you communicate otherwise or other than your words, that kind of communication shall be considered to be the non-verbal communication. Okay, so difference I have taught you. Now what is under verbal and non-verbal communication, we are going to study one by one. So this is the verbal communication. Verbal communication simply means communication through words, where actual words are used. Okay, we use words to share anything, like we can share our thoughts or feeling or ideas with others. I am teaching you. Okay, I am using the words. Okay, I am speaking the words. When we provide you the written notes, this is a kind of written communication. All the words are written in a separate PDF format. Okay, in that kind of a file, all the words are written, and you go through, you read all these, and that kind of a communication is a written communication. So I basically mean to say the case in which we actually use the words for communicating with the other party, that shall be considered to be the verbal communication. Okay, and this is done with 2 ways. The first way is oral communication. You can imagine orally we use words. Now I am speaking, you all are listening me, okay? So this is 7 p.m. So this is the reason why number of students have got free right now. So they have joined this specific lecture. So I am speaking, you are listening. Now you are the receiver of my message. This particular time you are the receiver of my message, and whatever the message I am giving you, all this is including some kind of words. Okay, so this is an oral communication, and immediately after this lecture we shall be providing to you the PDF notes of what we have prepared for you. That kind of communication shall be written communication. Again, the use of words will be there, because each and everything, every line shall be printed in this PDF file. So this is kind of a verbal communication where you actually use the words to convey your message. Okay, I hope you would have got the clear idea of what this means to you. So now we move further. This is non-verbal communication. Verbal communication we have already gone through in detail in previous lectures as well. This is why we have not included in detail. Oral, you simply know that when you speak something and somebody listens to you, that's oral communication. But when something is written, so that communication can be made. Like you have applied for job in any institution, you give them your resume. Your resume is a written format of whatever the qualities, your experiences, your academic qualification you are possessing. So in a writing mode, you are communicating what you wish to communicate to the principal or the higher authority of any institution at which you are going to apply. Okay, so these kind of things we have gone through for number of times. That's the reason we have not included this much in this specific slide. The next one, as non-verbal is there, number of things have been added in this specific lecture regarding non-verbal communication, and this is the basic reason actually why I have taken this specific lecture. Otherwise, I genuinely believe that you people are sound enough that you can go at your own from this that much very easy lecture, because there are some very interesting things which I wished that I should teach you myself. So this is why we have taken this lecture. So non-verbal communication is what kind of communication? Where there is none kind of use of words. Okay, so non-verbal communication takes place without use of words. You don't use any kind of words in case of non-verbal communication, but you still convey your message. Okay, you can convey your message. You can just convey your message with your body movements. Okay, like somebody is asking your reply in yes or no. Okay, you can simply put your hand up and you can just sign, or you can just give them the gesture of yes, or you can give them the gesture of no. In this way you can also communicate with the counterparty or the other person who is talking to you. So you can convey your message through your body movements or audio video signals as well. Audio video signals. So if there is if I am showing you a video, okay, if video is shown to you, then this is also the kind of non-verbal communication, because the second party itself is not using any kind of words, but it's just showing you a video which can convey the message. So now I shall be explaining you in detail whatever is contained in the non-verbal communication. So the very first thing which is included in the non-verbal communication, where the words are not taken into consideration, actually this is known as body language. So this is the first basis on which we further bifurcate the non-verbal communication. So this is body language. This is also known as kinesics. Okay, so what is this? This body language is language of your body. your body language plays a vital role in explaining what you wish to explain. Okay, sometimes you can see that while starting my lecture, I use some kind of body gestures. I just take my hands up and I just try my best with my gestures as well, so that each and everything spoken by me is completely understandable to you. So all these things are considered to be the language of your body. It is the way our body communicates through its parts. So how does the body communicate? Body cannot communicate by individual part or individual thing. There is the contribution of each and every part of body in making a best kind of communication with other party. So what are these parts? Our face speaks so much. Okay, so we can use our face. Okay, or then we can use our eyes to make the good kind of gesture. Okay, if we just close your eyes in a very in very few point of time, then that can be a gesture of yes. Okay, so that can also be there. We can use our body posture, we can use our hand gestures as well, that reflects our attitude, our emotions, our moods. Okay, whenever uh, we are sad, then we weep, then our eyes are somewhat different. Okay, these posture or eyes or posture of our body is somewhat different. It can be on the basis of feelings like positive or negative. Whenever you are happy, your eyes can speak that you are happy, you would have experienced. Okay, whenever you are sad, sometime you would have experienced that your family members, by just taking a very small look at your eyes, they can get to know that you are sad or you are happy. Okay, so by just without even talking to you, without even the use of any kind of words, they can get to know that you are happy or you are sad. So how this all happens? This all happens because of different body parts, because our different body parts are behaving in a different way on the basis of our feelings, whether these are positive or negative feelings. The study of message conveyed by our body is also known as kinesics. Okay, so this is very important word we have to understand and go through. So how does the body speaks? Okay, now I'm going to give some detail, only some detail regarding what the different body parts are and what is their role in speaking or communicating. The first is facial expression. Okay, facial, or your face can express what is going inside you. Face speaks what words cannot. Okay, face can speak. Sometimes you are speechless, sometimes you are very happy but you cannot say anything, you are completely speechless. At that time your facial expression could communicate each and everything what is within you. Okay, so these feelings can be the feeling of fear, feeling of anger, feeling of surprise, then sadness, happiness. These all are reflected through our facial expressions. So this thing I wished to teach you in this specific slide. The second body part are your eyes. Okay, your eyes speaks a lot. When you are sad, you weep. When you are happy, your eyes are somewhat different. Okay, eyes as part of the face express how deeply we are involved in the discussion. Okay, we give kind of gestures with your eyes. Okay, while speaking, I just use the gestures from my eyes as well, because that in this way, if we are delivering the lecture in the classroom standing on the desk, then we can easily get to know by merely looking at the eyes of our students whether they are getting whatever being taught by us or not. So eyes are most important and play very good role in communicating with other party. Then head is there. Your head position reflects confidence in a subject being discussed. Okay, when you nod your head, then that can be the gesture of yes. Okay, so nodding of a head shows that listener is understanding the speaker. So when I ask you that you have understood or not, and you just nod your head, that means you have understood. So this is also the way the head communicates on the basis of your words. Then there are just body gestures. You use your arms, you use your legs, you use your hands. Like I use a lot while teaching. I use head as well, because I nod my head whenever there is very deep understanding concept or anything. We use each and everything. So they are also the best way to communicate what we wish to communicate. They reflect meanings which are usually understood by everyone. Okay, sometimes you are not able to communicate with words what you wish to communicate, but your arms, your legs, your hands and your head speak much more than word can speak. So these are your gestures. After that, body shape also speaks. Okay, so these are three kind of body shapes which can also be the good part of a communication as well. We have taken written the name of everything. You have to read and you have to remember what body parts fits to whom. So this is ectomorph. They are the person who are thin and tall. Then there is mesomorph. They are the person who are strong, muscular and bony. Then there are endomorph. They are fat, round and soft. All the persons for communicating use their body shape a lot. Okay, you would have heard in conferences, in workshop, in seminars, if you have attended, then the speaker who is speaking use different kind of gestures on the basis of his body shape. Okay, so these are the three kinds of body shapes which I believe that you must have been aware of. Okay, if you are not, then I have already given you the information regarding all these three. Then this is your posture. This is also the part of a body language. Posture is what you carry with yourself, what you carry with yourself. Okay, an erect means a right posture, a right or positive postures reflect your confidence. You are walking in the corridor of your organization or institution, and you have a very erect kind of posture. That means you are very confident. But if this is a bent kind of posture, that means you are thinking. Then a relaxed posture can reflect balanced state of mind. Sitting backwards with legs apart is a sign of disinterest. Okay, so when being a teacher, you must know that if a student is sitting backwards with legs apart, this is a sign that he is disinterested in your lecture. Okay, so your body posture also communicate a lot of things what the words cannot actually speak, or which cannot communicate. I think this is the last one in under body language. This is appearances. How do you appear? What is your hairstyle? What do you make up? How do you wear your makeup? How do you wear your shoes? So these greatly influence. These give an extreme idea and communicate what kind of personality you are. Okay, so your appearance, your outlook, okay, your completality. So all these things just reflect a lot of things, reflect your attitude towards our job and peers. If you love your job, then you shall dress up very in a very good sense on daily basis. Okay, usually we have seen there are some professors who wears on daily basis coat pants or a very great kind of physical appearance is there for them. And there are some who are disinterested or who are not that much liking in like of their job. They do not appear good by just merely a single looking. So I think that was enough for the body language parts. Okay, so the next one which we have to go through, this is regarding para language. Okay, this is about para language I wish to teach you. So right now I have taught you there are two kind of communication. First is verbal and non-verbal. In case of verbal communication, you actually use the words, but in case of non-verbal communication, there is none kind of use of words. And in non non-verbal communication, we have already studied about body language, and the next topic that is going to be, that is regarding paralanguage. Okay, paralanguage. So what is this? This para means like. This just means like. And what is paralanguage? Paralanguage means like language, which is not the actual language, but similar language. It is use of non-verbal communication which is similar to language, which is similar to what you want to say, but not in the form of words. I'll tell you what are the different ways of paralanguage. Only then you'll be able to know the exact meaning of that. So it is closest in the meaning to verbal communication, very close to verbal communication. Words convey meaning through paralanguage. How do you speak through paralanguage? Okay, there are some facilities like your voice. So this is the only one, okay, used in the paralanguage. Your voice modulation, okay. When, okay, so this thing I'm going to tell you right now. When you wish to say thank you to someone, then you know that you have to speak this word thank you in a very soft voice. Okay, in a very soft voice. But if you are using a harsh kind of voice, just like thank you, if you are saying like that, then it does not convey the right meaning of the message, okay. And if you wish to say sorry to someone, but when you actually speak, your voice modulation is in the way that you don't actually mean the sorry. Okay, so if somebody is saying you sorry in the way like sorry, okay, so that doesn't mean that he is actually feeling sorry. So he is just he's not actually meaning that he has actually made any kind of a hurt to you. Okay, so your voice modulation, okay, it's a transmission. All these things are covered under the para language. Okay, so this is the language which, along with your body gestures, you just give some kind of modulations. Although there is so I have already told you that it is closest in meaning to verbal communication. Okay, it's not completely the verbal and not completely the non-verbal. This is just your voice modulation, which should actually be there for proper communication of your meaning of what you mean relating to a certain thing. Okay, so that should be there. So voice was there. Voice is an important indicator of our personality. A soft voice indicates calmness, and a hard voice indicates harshness or strictness. A clear voice indicates clarity of subject. A stammering voice indicates nervousness. Okay, when you are nervous, then your voice stammers. This is also a way of communication. The other party or your interviewer can easily get to know that you are very nervous. And if you have clarity of subject, then your voice shall be clear. Then immediately your interviewer shall get to know that he is very confident in what he has already gone through. Then clarity of voice affect the effectiveness of communication. So this is only this is included in the paralanguage, I think. And there are some ways how your voice behaves in the proper kind of communication. So voice take cares of the following aspects, like pitch variation. Sometimes you are speaking low, sometimes you are speaking high pitch. Okay, then volume variation, there can be the kind of your volume. Sometimes you speak in a high variation. Okay, you vary, you speak some words. Okay, you stretches some words, and to some words you just speak very quickly. And there is speed and pause. You know that you have to pause at some points, like I am pausing right now. And then you have to take the speed for the next line. So this is called a speed and pause. Then non-fluencies, these are also the part of voice. These just tells you, these covers all the other things. Okay, so these are non-fluencies which are also the part of that, and these covers each and everything what we have already gone through from the above given points. Okay, so these are the things we have to go through. I think I have taught you completely regarding the para language right now. The third one is a sign language. Okay, this is a sign language. So I have taught you under non-verbal communication, first body language, then para language, this is sign language. How this works, this is just showing the visual signs or audio signs. In case of visual signs, like if I don't use any kind of words, I just show you some video visuals, okay, then you can get to know what I wish to communicate with you. Okay, so if I use audios only, recorded audios only, I am not talking directly to you. I just give you some kind of audio signs that shall be considered to be the audio signs. And it is said that signs are symbol that convey almost 50% of what we want to say. 50% contribution in communication is of sign languages. Okay, so they are also very close to the verbal communication, but they are not exactly the verbal and not exactly the non-verbal. This is why these has been studied separately. Sign language is a non-verbal form of communication where sender conveys the message through symbols. So these are the only two. Okay, so I think that was complete by now. And the last one is space language, time language and surroundings. Space language is very important. Okay, space is just the difference between sender and the receiver. Okay, I am teaching in the classroom. Whatever the space is there between me and my students, that is very important in communication, in communicating my message. Okay, in communication, space is very important. So there has been a very great author, okay, who has given some kind of space language proxemics. Okay, study of communication through space around us is known as space language or proxemics. So whether we can reduce this distance or not, that depends upon how close and intimate we are with them. Here we stands for the sender and him stands for the receiver. Okay, so study of communication through space around us, us includes both, this is sender and receiver, and this is known as space language. And I think there are 4 kinds of space language and 4 kind of theories. So this has been that author Edward T. Hall presents the space language through the following distances. How does he explain this? He tells this is intimate. The first one is intimate space language. He tells if there is a space of 18 inches between the communicators, okay, within this space, body language is more effective than spoken language. This closeness we can use with our friends, with our relatives, with our official contacts as well. Okay, so 18 inches spaces between communicators is known as intimate space language. The second one is personal space language. This is space varies between 18 inches to 4 feet. Okay, within this space, people talk to personal friends, visitors who may not necessarily be in a very close proximity to each other. Okay, now you shall realize that the space is getting larger and larger by whatever the things we are going through. So first I taught you regarding intimate space language, which refers to 18 inches. Then personal space language, this is 18 inches to 4 feet. Then social space language, this is between 4 feet to 12 feet, and this is used for formal business communications. Okay, formally when you communicate in business language, you have to take that much space. And finally there is public space. This is beyond 12 feet. When I am speaking to you, suppose I am taking a workshop or a seminar, I am addressing the public gathering, then I have to make space from them for at least 12 feet. Okay, this is known as a public space language, and that was all included in that. Okay, I taught you that I shall be teaching in the D part about space, language, time, and surroundings. Space language I have taught you. Now this is the time for time, language, and surroundings. And these are the only 2 points left in this video lecture. So time is money. Okay, how time speaks. Okay, if you are on time, that means you are punctual. Okay, your interviewer or your teacher can get to know that you are punctual. If you are on time for your duty, if you are on time for your school, if you are on time for your college, if you are on time for your study, okay, if you have created a study schedule and you follow it regularly on time, then this shows, this communicates, that this actually communicates that you are punctual, and no one need anything else to be sure that you are very punctual of time. Work done in a time speaks a lot about worth of the candidate. Okay, if you are doing your work in time, then your supervisor or your employer shall get to know that you are loyal and interested in your job. So this is known as time language, in which you don't speak anything, but if you if you just respect the time of both the parties, then this shows that you are good enough in your job. And last is surrounding. Our surroundings speaks a lot about us. If we are having the well furnished, carpeted, softly colored office with a well designed layout and beautiful painting on walls, that speaks a lot more than an office with ordinary layout and furniture. Okay, there are two kind of offices, office A, office B. It is having all kind of furnished accommodation, and this office is just like whatever the old fashioned things and accessories are there. Which one would you like? Obviously you would like this, because this shall be the more hygienic. So your surrounding speaks a lot about you. So I think and the surrounding becomes the major reason as well, so that the perception regarding you could be made. So in this lecture, I hope I was able to teach you each and every aspect regarding verbal and non-verbal communication. So it was all in there. Now just a very important announcement and notification. We have already told you that from now onwards, not for the paper one, for the paper not for the paper second, but for paper one, maybe that sometime we have to take more than 1 or 2 lectures as well. In the coming days, we have to go through from mathematics and reasoning, and these are very large part. We have to teach you each and every concept, and same will be the case of paper second as well. For that reason, maybe we are taking the lectures on weekends as well. If you, in case you are busy, as we had not committed before the start of this session, there can be some cases. If you are busy, then that's not an issue. Each and every day the recording is being sent to you, and that shall be the way. Okay, because otherwise taking continuously the lectures for 3 hours for you and me is not possible, that you all know completely. So this is why today there shall be 4 lectures for second paper second, which we have already covered, and we shall be delivering you after 8 p.m. from now onwards. So I hope you would have enjoyed this lecture a lot. That was all regarding that, and regarding the tomorrow's lecture, we shall be intimating you via WhatsApp as soon as possible. Thank you so much for joining me in this lecture. This is Gurpal Singh from Gurpal Education.